शुक्लाधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। Namaste. Now we will see the meanings of Shri Vishnu Sahasranama based on Shri Shankaracharya Bhaashya for verse 105. First we will see the verse yajñabhṛd yajñakṛd yajñī yajñabhug yajñasādhanaḥ yajñāntakṛd yajñaguhyam annam annādaḥ evacha. The namas herein are yajñabhṛd, yajñakṛd, yajñī, yajñabhug, yajñasādhanaḥ, yajñāntakṛd, yajñaguhyam, annam, annādaḥ. So there are 9 namas herein. We will see the meanings of each of these one by one. The first nama is yajñabhṛd. Yajñam vibharti patiti va yajñabhṛd. The one who supports or protects yajna is yajñabhṛd. So yajñabhṛd are the two components. Yajna, we have already seen in the context of the previous nama, is performance of the Vedic injunctions or the rituals that are prescribed in the Vedas, or doing actions with the sense of detachment or sharing one's resources unconditionally with others. So that can be a higher, deeper, nobler, greater dimension of yajna. And yajna can also, as indicated in the Bhagavad Gita, japa yajna, the jnana yajna, dravya yajna, tapo yajna, yoga yajna, swadhyaya yajna, all these kinds of yajnas have also been indicated. Japa, swadhyaya, yoga, all these are also denoted as yajna in the Bhagavad Gita. So yajñabhṛd. So yajñam vibharti means the one who supports, and pati, and who also protects. Yes. So as the Paramatman Antaryami, he protects from within all those who are involved, who he protects and inspires all those who are involved in these various types of yajnas, and he supports and also protects, supports by giving them constant source of inspiration to continue in the path of yajna, and also protects them from all kinds of distractions and weaknesses that may make them retire from or discourage them from performing the yajnas. As stated in the Yoga Sutra, the vyadhi, sthana, samshaya, pramada, alasya, avirati, bhranti darshana, alabdha bhumikatva, anavasthitatva, all those who are involved in the path of yoga, they face 9 obstacles beginning from disease, laziness, doubt, instability, all those kinds of distractions. So they will come whenever we are involved in great pursuits like yajna. So all that is overcome by the grace of Bhagavan Narayana. He is hence yajñabhṛd. The next nama is yajñakṛd. Jagadadau tadante cha yajñam karoti krintati va yajñakṛd. The one who performs yajna at the beginning and the end of the creation, or the one who cuts asunder yajnas at the end. So the very process of creation and dissolution is yajna. So that is indicated as jagadadau tad antecha yajñam karoti. So, or it can be taken as, so to create the world, the inspiration comes by performance of yajna. The entire Purusha Sukta is indicative of this. So where all the divine beings they perform yajna, and because of that yajna they are inspired, they receive the guidance and from the higher source, and then they proceed in the path of creation, and finally offering everything back into the Paramatman. So that also happens at the end of the creation at Pralaya. Hence, that can also be considered as yajna. So, and yajñam krintati va yajñakṛd. So at the end, all activities, whether it is noble or not noble, so when the time has come, time is all powerful. When the time for dissolution comes, everything merges back into the Paramatman in his Rudraswarupa. Yajñam krintati. All yajñas are even cut asunder. So, immaterial of what is the state of various activities, all those are offered back into the Paramatman, and hence the one who does in standing or being situated in various roles as creator and the one who is responsible for the dissolution, he is yajñakṛd. The next nama is yajñī. Yajñānam tat samaradhanatmanam sheshiti yajñī. The one who is the Lord of yajñas, which are of the nature of worship of the Supreme Being. Yajñī, yajñahasya astiti, yajñī, the one to whom all the yajñas belong to. So whatever yajña, whatever puja, whatever worship is done to whatever divinity, it is finally offered to the Supreme Being only. So there may be various ways of worship, but finally Keshavam pratigacchati akashat patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram sarvadeva namaskaraha Keshavam pratigacchati. So in the, as indicated in this very popular verse, whomever is worshipped or whichever divinity is worshipped, finally everything is offered back to the same pure Paramatman Satchidananda Swarupa only, as indicated even in the Rigveda. Ekam Sat Vipra Bahudha Vadanti. There is one supreme pure consciousness which shines forth in various names, various divine forms. Hence, ultimately, the one who is the Lord of all kinds of worship, devotion, is the Paramatman only. That is indicated by this nama yajñī. The next nama is yajñabhug. Yajñam bhungte bhunakti iti va yajñabhug. The one who consumes yajña, the offerings in the yajña, or the one who protects the yajña. So here also there are two components, yajña and bhug. Yajña, all noble deeds we have already seen, and bhuk. This bhuk is interpreted in two ways. Bhungte iti bhuk, bhunakti iti bhuk. So the same root bhuk we have previously also seen in one of the namas. So the root bhuk has two meanings. Bhuja palana abhyavaharayoho. So bhuja root, the grammatical root, has two meanings: palanam, to protect, and abhyavahara, to consume. When the root is used in the atmanepadi form, that is bhunkte, then it means abhyavahara, consumption, eating. And when it is used in the parasmaipadi form, that is bhunakti, then it means protection, taking care of. So that is palanam. So both these meanings are given. So yajñam bhunkte, the one who consumes in the yajna, or as indicated previously, all the offerings are offered to the Supreme Sachidananda Paramatman only. So he is the one who accepts all the offerings. So yajñam bhunkte, the one who consumes or one who accepts all the offerings, is yajñabhug. Yajñam bhunakti, the one who protects the yajñas. So that is also Paramatman, as previously we have seen in the various avatara leelas. All the noble deeds, including the performance of yajñas, are protected by the various avataras. So that is the very specific purpose of the avataras themselves. Hence, the one who protects the people who are dharmic and their dharmic actions, he is yajñabhug. The next nama is yajñasādhanaḥ. Yajñāh sadhanam tat praptaviti yajñasādhanaḥ. The one to attain whom yajñas are means. So yajña and sadhana are the two components here. Yajña, all noble deeds performed without any attachment, or yajña, be it dravya yajña, tapo yajña, yoga yajña, swadhyaya yajña or jnana yajña. All these yajñas, when done with Ishwararpana buddhi, with a surrender to the Bhagavan, Parameshwara, done with a sense of detachment. So all that are the sadhanas, or the tools or means or methods to attain the Paramatman. So the one who is attained by yajna, noble actions, selfless actions, he is yajñasādhanaḥ. Yajño hi shreshṭhatamam karma. The Vedas glorify yajna as the best possible actions that can be done by human beings. What can be the best action, which is indicated as yogaha karmasu kaushalam? That also means performing actions without getting caught, or without getting attached, or without getting attached to it, or without developing expectations out of that action, too much attachment to the outcomes. Without that, if actions are performed, that is the shreshṭhatamam karma, that is karmasu kaushalam. So that is yajna, and then the one who is achieved through such yajna is yajñasādhanaḥ, the one to reach whom such yajna is a tool, such yajna is means, he is yajñasādhanaḥ. The next nama is yajñāntakṛd. There are a couple of interpretations here. Yajñasya antam phalapraptim kurvan yajñāntakṛd, the one who grants results of yajñas. So yajña, anta, kṛt are the three components. Yajña, the various yajñas, anta, and kṛt, the one who does. So the one who brings the yajñas to a beautiful conclusion. When does yajñas attain their fulfillment or conclusion? When the purpose for which yajñas are performed, they are achieved, then the yajñas come to a beautiful conclusion. The various dravya yajñas, offering various materials to the divinity in expectation of various results, they are done by arthas, artharthis, means those who are suffering from various ailments and those who are in dire need of various material resources. They perform various yajñas by offering various materials that they can attain. So their anxieties, their worries, their distress is mitigated by Bhagavan by granting the kamanas or the desires with which the various yajñas are performed. So yajñāntakṛd in a sense means the one who puts end to our worries, the one who puts an end to the sufferings, and the one who puts an end to the various stresses and difficulties in our life. So, with various difficulties in mind or to overcome various difficulties, we turn Godwards. So, the God does not fail and He fulfills our desires in attaining various resources that are helpful to sustain life and also overcoming various difficulties. Hence, he is yajñāntakṛd. And then there is another interpretation. Vaishnava rikchamsanena purnahutya purnam krutva yajña samapting karoti iti va yajñāntakṛd. By the recitation of Vaishnava mantra at the end during Purnahuti, the one who completes the yajna. So here also yajñāntakṛd, yajna, the various, especially in this context, it is the dravya yajñas which are performed as per the injunction of the Vedas and the Smritis. So they are indicated here. Antakrit, the one who brings them to a state of completion. How does yajñas end? All of us who are acquainted with the process of yajña will know that a great, grand, final offering is made to the Paramatman. Purna Ahuti. It is called as Purnahuti. Purnaya Ahutihi. An offering, Ahuti, an oblation or an offering to the Purna, the ultimate being, or an offering which is an ultimate offering, means a very grand offering that is given. Regular ghee and other materials are offered in just prior to all these prayers. The ultimate offering is a grand offering that is made, which comprises of fruits, nuts, beautiful clothing, and all those are collected together, and herbs are also included, and that grand offering, that is the Purna Ahuti, that is made at the end of a yajna. So, and how is that made? That is made by chanting a Vaishnava mantra, a mantra that salutes Bhagavan Vishnu. Vishnu, Vaishnava means the one who is all pervasive, hence the one who is complete. So that Purnahuti is made at the end of Yajna by chanting that Vaishnava Rik. And who does this? The uh, Ritvik, or the one who officiates the Yajna, such Acharya, he does this, and then so the one who is in the form of the Acharya who is performing this Yajna, that is also Bhagavan Narayana. So the one who grants the completion of Yajna by making an offering, making a grand offering, making a complete offering at the end. The Ritvik here is seen as Bhagavan Narayana himself, and hence he is glorified as Yajñāntakṛd. The seventh nama is Yajñaguhyam. Yajñānam guhyam jnana yajñah phalabhisandhirahitah va yajñah tad abhedopacharat brahma yajñaguhyam. The secret of yajna is jnana yajna, or performance of yajna without attachment to results. In a secondary sense, this is indicated as not different from Brahman. Hence, Brahman is Yajñaguhya. So, in this nama, we see two components, yajña and guhya. Yajña, all these noble deeds which we have discussed earlier, and guhya is secret. The secret of yajña, secret of yajña is also the Paramatman only. So what is the secret of yajña that is described here? Acharya indicates yajñānam jnana yajñaha. So the most essential or the most ultimate or the most sacred and hence secret or hence not easily accessible to others is the jnana yajña. Various other kinds of yajñas can be performed. Dravya yajña, tapo yajña, yoga yajña can be performed, but it is very difficult and hence very inaccessible to common men, so common people. Hence, that is the secret. What is the secret? Jnana yajna. What is jnana yajna? Jnana yajna is, as has been described in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, jnana yoga vyavasthitihi. That is jnana yajna. What is jnana yoga vyavasthitihi? Acharya Shankara there clearly clarifies that jnana is attainment of the knowledge about the Satchidananda Swarupa of one's own self from Shastras and also Acharyas. So, from the teachings of the Acharyas, with their rich experience and also the systematic approach to the concept of the self, the concept of the pure consciousness that is presented in the Shastras. So, absorbing all these, so that is jnana. And does the process of jnana yajna complete here? No, only the jnana part is complete. And what is jnana yoga vyavasthitihi? Yoga vyavasthiti refers to the there Acharya Shankara clarifies that yoga here refers to the control of the senses, regulation of the senses, and also the mind, and then turning the mind and the senses inwards so that the jnana that has been absorbed from the Shastras and Acharya can be meditated upon and towards the realization of that reality of one's own pure Satchidananda Swarupa that can happen only by yoga. So jnana and yoga and vyavasthiti is also important. It is not this jnana and yoga should not be done inconsistently. It has to be done systematically and consistently, and a persistent, lifelong effort has to be done. One has to be established in the processes of jnana and yoga. So, the one who is established in the jnana yoga prakriya, he is said to be performing jnana yajñaha. So this kind of yajna of learning about the self and also being constantly established in that knowledge by regulating, controlling and directing the actions of the senses and the mind, that is jnana yajna, and that is not easy for one and all, and hence that jnana yajna is considered as yajñaguhyam, the secret higher kind of yajna, or simply yajñaguhyam can be phalabhisandhi rahitaha va yajñaha. So it is easy for everyone to do actions with expectation or attachment to the outcome. But what is again higher, difficult, bit inaccessible is performing actions with all sincerity and seriousness, with all skills available, with all energy and commitment and diligence, but detaching oneself from the expectations of the outcome. So that is difficult. So the first part is easy, or the first part is accessible or possible to one and all. The next part of detaching oneself from the outcomes or expectations of outcome, that is difficult. And if that is done, then refinement, transformation will happen. But that is the secret. And if that key or if that secret is achieved, then that will lead to the transformation or movement towards our own higher nature. But again, that becomes inaccessible to many. Hence, it is considered as secretive and denoted by this term yajñaguhya. Tad abhedopacharat brahma yajñaguhyam. Be it the jnana yajna understanding, or be it performing actions without attachment to the results, both these polish, refine, transform our inner self and orient it towards the realization of the Brahman, the pure consciousness. So though these processes are means towards attaining Brahman, still, as these are very higher processes, hence they are considered as not different from Brahman itself in a secondary sense. Hence, such jnana yajna itself is Brahman. Such performance of yajna without attachment to the results itself is Brahman. So these processes themselves are glorified as Brahman, as they lead a performer of such yajnas to the Brahman. Hence, ultimately, the yajñaguhya, the ultimate secret of performance of yajna, is attainment of Brahman, or being established, to be established in the Satchidananda Sarvavyapi Sarvashakta Paramatma Swarupa. That is Yajñaguhya. The eighth nama is annam. Adyate bhutaihi atticha bhutaniti annam. As the one who is consumed, or the one who consumes the beings, is anna. So the Paramatman is anna. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, we see this etymology, this derivation. Acharya derives this etymology or derivation from the Taittiriya Upanishad, where we see Adyate cha bhutani tasmad annam taduchyata iti. So annam taduchyate, that is called as annam. What is called as annam? Adyate iti annam. So that which is eaten, that which is consumed, that is annam. The various kinds of food that is consumed by various beings. Hence, that which is being consumed is annam. And then atticha bhutani, that which also consumes the beings. Bhutani atti. So how it is easily known that that which is being consumed or eaten is annam. How does the food eat a human being or various beings? That is explained by Acharya Sayana in his commentary, where he says, if inconducive food is eaten, so that food itself will be fatal. So anna rasa vaishamyena bhutani atti. So basically, we consider in Indian tradition, in the Veda, Shastra, Ayurveda, Sampradaya, the basic factor which promotes health, which maintains good health, and which is detrimental or which leads to the death even of an individual is food. Everything is centered on food. So if the food is taken, if the mitahara is taken, so chaturthamsha vivarjitaha, sattvikaha, Shiva samprityai bhujyamanaha aharaha mitaharaha. So having a very balanced, moderate food which has been offered to the divinity. So day in and day out, consuming food, considering one's own health condition, and then eating food that is nourishing, that is limited in quantity, means when the hunger is satiated, the food has to be stopped, and also the food that is offered to the divinity and which is shared with people. So this kind of food promotes and protects an individual. But if this is violated, which is what is happening these days, satvika ahara, mita ahara, and then nivedita ahara, offered to the divinity or shared with fellow beings. So such food is protective, and the food which is opposed to this creates various kinds of imbalances in our system that affects a being at various levels, at the mental level, at the physical level, at all levels. The food has a negative impact also if not carefully taken. Hence, annam bhutani atti. The food itself consumes a being. So hence also it is annam. So annam is both the consumer and the one that consumes. Hence we should be very careful about our food. And who is this annam? Annam Brahma. Anna is Brahman. So it is the Brahman, it is the Satchidananda Paramatman who is acting through this Anna, being an object of consumption and also the one who consumes. So hence Anna has to be revered as the ultimate. So as it sustains our day-to-day living and all our energies are directed towards achieving it, so annam is Brahman, and that annam is none other than Bhagavan Narayana. The next nama is annādaḥ. Annamattiti annādaḥ. The one who consumes food is annādaḥ. So anna, ada are the two components here. Anna is food, about which elaboration has been given in the previous nama. And ada refers to the one who consumes. So the one who consumes the food in the form of the Jivatman, the various beings. So that is also Bhagavan Narayana himself. And then in the shloka, one can see annam annādaḥ evacha. Eva and cha. These two terms are also present. So those two terms are also explained by Acharya. Sarvam jagad annadi rupena bhoktru bhogyatmakameveti darshayitum evakaraha Chashabdaha sarvanamnam ekasmin parasmin pumsi samuchitya vrittim darshayitum. So Acharya here says Eva refers to the fact that the entire world that we perceive can be seen in the duality of Anna and Annada. Though the ultimate reality is Satchidananda Paramatman, at an outer level, at an external, at the periphery, when we look at the world, we see that the entire world can be classified as only these two categories, food and the consumer of the food. That's why only these two categories exist to indicate that the term eva has been given, and then the word cha refers to samuchaya or collecting. So here, as the commentary itself clearly indicates, all the namas hitherto mentioned are collectively centered on the Paramatman only. to indicate that the term cha, that indicates a samuchaya, collection, that indicates the orientation of all these namas. So all these namas, meditating upon the meanings of all these namas, they lead to the Paramatman only. So that orientation is given through this term cha. So thus with these 9 namas in verse 105, we have thus far seen 984 namas. Om Tat Sat, Shri Krishnarpanamastu.